I need everyone to write down in the comments what house you have Sagittarius in below, because that's where your new moon's going to be.
Welcome back to my YouTube. It is your girl Honey. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Yes, we are here today doing a brand new video. I have done quite a few videos, but I didn't post last week, but I've been crazy busy, so I've had no time to edit them. I do have a ancestral trauma video coming out very, very soon, but it's not going to be here this week because this video takes priority. So most of you are here because you guys have read the title. We are going to be talking a lot about this Saturn Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius, because this is a major change we're all about to experience. So I wanted to start by saying this before I even get into it. A lot of us will not feel the change personally, and that's okay. We will actually witness the change happen over time. Think about Saturn as your rules, regulations, restrictions, responsibilities, and also self-limitation, fears, corporations, organizations, your managers, your parents. Anything in terms of making you feel lesser than, right? Also taking accountability. And then we have Jupiter. Jupiter is your luck, your blessings, your gains. It's a benefic planet. It's the great expansion, your knowledge, your optimism, your faith. Aquarius rules Uranus and it also co-rules Saturn. Aquarius is an association with the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of your social circles, organizations, groups, affiliates, networks, and also in terms of your wishes and dreams. And you've got to translate that to the Aquarius, which is very much the same, but Aquarius is more so about thinking ahead of time. On December 21st, 2020, we are going to have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct at 0 degrees. But what's so crazy, before I even get to that, we're going to feel the effects of this before it even reaches 0 degrees, because we actually have a new moon in Sagittarius on the 14th of December. This is not something to play with, people, and it will be at 23 degrees. So people, pick up your birth charts. Have a look to see what house you have Sagittarius in, what house you have Aquarius in, because this is where you are going to be personally affected. Now, when you think about 0 degrees, it is very much a critical degree. But what we see is that it's going in very naive, but it represents a new beginning. But then again, so does the new moon. So that's why I'm looking at it like, oh my God, a brand new start, something fresh. And we're all like, especially us cardinal signs, we've been getting beat since 2007 when Pluto went into Capricorn, right? Saturn is finally going into Aquarius. So fixed signs are probably going to feel more of the transit, especially if you have an early degree, you know, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus placement or point. So first of all, let's just talk a little bit about the new moon. The new moon will be at 23 degrees. So pull up your birth chart. Everyone has Sagittarius in their birth chart, so make sure
it's the circle one, the circle birth chart, not the list, please. We don't do lists, we don't do co-star over here.
So for example, I remember I had a new moon before in my 6th house, right? And the 6th house is the house of health, well-being, your daily routines. And I remember that week I started a vegan diet, and I literally did not eat meat for about 9 or 10 weeks. And what we see is just there's a new beginning in terms of this house's expressions. 10th house new moon can show someone who may be offered a new career. You may have been unemployed for the last several months, but now you've been given, finally, after all this time, finally a job. New moon in the 4th house, you are probably likely to start house hunting, looking for a new place to live, researching different areas locally to you, or maybe even far away. New moon in the 7th house. You guys may choose to migrate to a different country for somebody else. A new relationship may form. You may choose to break up with your partner. Could be getting married, could be an engagement. But the main focus with this new moon and also this Aquarius energy is freedom. We all are dying for freedom. Freedom to walk into a shop and not have to wear a mask. Freedom to just go to a shop and not have to queue up. Freedom to have your friends around, to party like you could last year, a couple of years ago. We just want our freedom back. Looking at astrology, I don't see that there's going to be a major shift in terms of, oh, let's go back to how it was, you know, in 2019, you know, going out for drinks and having fun. No. Think about Aquarius as social reform. I feel like this year a lot of us are going to feel like we need to make a change in society. So we've just had Saturn come from Capricorn, and Capricorn relates a lot to organizations. I made a whole podcast about this. It relates to government, okay, managers, people who have high power. We have this whole thing going on with like vaccinations that everyone's very worried about. People like, should I take it? Should I not take it? Again, the whole new world order, people. Again, all of this is Aquarius, it's Capricorn energy as well. New world order for me, I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, like why are you talking about new world order? This is the thing, like new world order will link us to a major change in society, what we've always known versus what it is now. Restrictions online in terms of what you are saying. I can't even lie, like even with like YouTube, right? YouTube have been clamping down on channels over the last 6 months. It's been crazy. So there's certain words you can't even say on YouTube because they will demonetize your channel. Anything in terms of the virus, they are going to fact check you. And we see this happening a lot actually on Facebook or on Instagram. If anyone just mentions the word, right, or says the word, they automatically put a fact check or they put a virus information underneath the post to keep us reminded of what's going on. So I feel like the government are doing what they can, but more so trying to implement their rules through social media, through organizations, through networks. What's crazy is, well, I read something the other day, a blog article where the government are now going to be reaching out to particular social media influencers to promote the vaccination. So there's going to be a lot of government requirements being promoted through social media in order to spread the message and the awareness to the people, because they know that when it comes to social media, that's why the whole term influencer is called an influencer, because these people are there to influence the public. This whole Aquarius energy, because Aquarius is very much about being an individual. It doesn't want to be told what to do or to conform to society's rules and regulations or standards. But you see what I think when it comes to the Jupiter being in Aquarius, we feel very optimistic about our freedom, you know, getting our freedom back and doing what we want to do. But there's still that fear of, am I doing the right thing, which is the Saturn. And when it comes to being an online person and you hold businesses, I feel that when I've said this before, I've said this so much times before, but I do feel that, and being in Aquarius, there's going to be some new rules, new regulations for people who are on social media, for people who are, you know, business owners. But I feel like it's going to be more of a small business owner, especially for those people who dominate social media or who make a lot of their sales through social media. I link Saturn to governing businesses. Social media used to be a place where we can all be sociable and active with each other. It won't be that anymore. Social media will literally be a place where they are to promote, to market, and to make money, because they are there to govern how you go about social media. I also feel like there may be something brand new coming out. Like, remember I was saying this is a new beginning. So I'm kind of feeling like something brand new. We could say Apple, like it's always Apple, for example. Apple have been constantly changing their mobile phones forever. Like I remember saying,
I'm never gonna get an Apple phone because I can't put my charger and my headphones in separate jacks anymore.
But now I have the Apple phone. I'm so used to the idea of having one port. This is all about innovation, right? Something so brand new. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a brand new invention or something brand new from Apple that came out that we're not even aware that we even need, right? But something that's different, maybe even the phone. I think the last thing I saw from Apple was that the next phone will not have a charging plug, and I thought, why, man? But to be fair, the plugs last the longest. It's the flipping chargers that don't. Jupiter is there to amplify the Aquarius energy, and I think it would be a really good time for a lot of us to express our creativity, how different we are, how much of an individual we are, how unique we may be. And a lot of us are going to start looking at this as a change in ourselves. And this is brilliant energy because you're not doing it for the validation of other people. You see, when it's Aquarius energy, it doesn't care about other people and what they think. It's all about what feels good to me, maybe weird to you, but I don't care. It just does it anyway. So we're going to see a lot of people come out of the woodworks talking about, this is what I've been doing for the last 2 years behind the scenes, and you know, this is how I really dress, this is how I really want to look. We'll see a lot of that coming out, and there will be a lot of people around to embrace it. But I honestly feel like because Saturn is right there, there will be someone trying to restrict that. Like during this whole like quarantine period has contributed to people being more open to creating groups, and I feel like there will be a lot more of these hate groups, because the more outrageous and different and innovative that we may feel, there will always be someone who will try to stop us from expressing us in the way that we feel natural to do so. Let's talk a little bit about astrology, because astrology is associated with Aquarius. It's all about thinking ahead, and it's all about being very different as well. This has been a fear of mine for years. Yeah, those people who know me will know that I
don't like the idea of astrology being mainstream. I don't like the idea of everyone studying astrology.
To me, it's like our own little secret society, you know, that we all talk about together, and it kind of gives us this safe place to be understood. Because to me, psychology falls hand in hand with astrology. It's about understanding and finding a deeper meaning, not just to yourself, but to everybody else. And when things become mainstream, they get ruined. They get ruined because you have people coming from a place of ego for one, but also false information for two. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are either doing videos now, building their social medias, their Instagrams, whatever it might be, with a lot of false information. And whenever I see like a really big celebrity, you know, talk about, oh
yeah, my moon is this and my Venus is that,
I'm like, bitch, everyone needs to know. Like, we know this, but not everyone else needs to know, because it takes away how special I look at astrology. Because if everyone has access to it, and everyone does, but if everyone does it, it would just be frightening for me. I remember literally maybe a couple of months ago, the rapper T.I. posted on his Twitter something about, you know, this song is for you if you're a Libra, this song's for you if you're an Aries, that song's for you if you're a Cancer, this song's for you if you're a Pisces. And I was just like, what are you talking about? This is what I mean about mainstream, because it just completely filters down real astrology. How can you link this song to that? Like, where's the explanation as to why you've done this with, like, who does that? But that's what I'm talking about. Whenever I see a celebrity talking about it, they have no idea about it, I definitely do take it a bit personal, but I try not to react. But inside I'm like, oh, please don't ruin it for the rest of us that have been studying it for years. And there will always be something to fight for. And I think a lot of us are going to be fighting for our freedom. And I've seen one of the most popular comments I've seen is people asking for a new social media app or a new Instagram where we can just get back to posting like we used to, and there's no pressure to have to invest in this or to buy that or to do this and to do, there's no pressure. But that's something that I feel could very much happen. But because we're in Aquarius, right? We're all about moving forward now. So unless a new app can come out and completely kill off Instagram, which will be so hard to do anyway, I just can't see it happening. But I wouldn't be surprised if some challenger did come up. What you need to be doing this year 100% is looking into networking. And I would recommend networking a lot through online or social media, because we do have the restriction of Saturn being placed there, and that can also contribute to how much people you can bring together. I don't know what the rules are looking like in terms of America, where most of my clients are, in terms of the rest of the world, but I know in the UK we are still unable to all come together. I still can't have more than 6 people come and see me, things like that. We are still very much restricted, but there are going to be certain ways that we need to learn to work around. This is a new beginning. So there will be a lot of social reforming that we're going to have to do as people, and a lot of us don't want to, because again, we are searching for freedom. The new moon in Sagittarius, freedom. Jupiter, Saturn being there, government are holding the freedom down for us. And when you think about Saturn conjunct Jupiter, there's this fear of wanting to expand or to explore in terms of the Aquarius energy. So again, a lot of that ties down to feeling held back by you holding yourself back, or feeling held back because organization, corporation, your parents, your family members, you know, a relationship, anything could be holding you back and preventing your ability to expand and thrive through Jupiter. When you think about the collective is the Aquarius energy, right? I feel like as a people, we are going to be coming more together. We're still very much going to have segregation as we do, but we are going to be coming together. In terms of us fighting against the man. Yeah, the man is the government, okay? Fighting against the government. And I feel like a lot of us, again, going back to the whole vaccination thing, a lot of us are gonna have a lot of opinions about stuff, but we're coming together. A lot of us believe that this is our way through freedom. Now, through freedom comes with great restrictions, and that is the Saturn being in Aquarius and also conjunct Jupiter, but also the fear of losing our freedom. I think as a community, we're going to be working on how we can come together, how we can kind of work on getting the society that we all desire to have. But this is going to take time. Change will be all throughout the winter because the actual conjunction happens on winter solstice. So those of you who have birthdays around December 21st, what kind of year are you looking at? You know, because this will be in your solar return. I always say, think about Jupiter as being, you know, the all-time fun guy, drinks too much, smokes a little bit too much, you know, turns up way too much, and Saturn is there like this.
Trash. He is trash. He's a mess. But you shouldn't drink too much. Drinking's bad for you.
Like, we see Saturn trying to govern the fun and the expansion of Jupiter. And I think for a lot of people, especially with your birthday being around that time, you guys are going to feel that this is not the year to be out here partying and, you know, spending too much money and having too much fun, because there could be something you are looking forward to. Remember, think about Aquarius as I'm looking ahead, right? So you may be thinking, okay, I want to buy a house, or I want to buy a car, or I want to pass my driver's test. You know, it could be anything. So you may choose to use this time to just knuckle down a little bit and work towards the things that you want to achieve. And when you think about Jupiter can also be linked to particular laws, legislations, and you know, Saturn being there is creating or governing these laws and legislations. And the Aquarius shows a collective or a community of people, right? And what we have been witnessing over the last several months, people, you guys who watch my Jupiter conjunct Pluto video will know exactly what I'm talking about. But over the last several months, we have been witnessing so much injustice, especially of the Black community, you know, things happening with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Like, there's things being exposed. There's just been so much things happening. But usually what we find, and what I'm kind of expecting to see, is that there's supposed to be some sort of justice. I feel like people are really pressuring for justice. People really want to have, you know, some sort of like, we deserve this or we want this, and I don't feel like it's going to happen. I feel like if it was to be given somewhere, it's acknowledged as a collective rather than acknowledged by the governor, i.e. the government, i.e. the people in authority. I don't see that happening at all. It will be based on acknowledgement through a collective. Right, people, so that is my interpretation of Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius. I wish you guys the best of luck. Take care, people. Bye.